The screen glows. You tap it again. The same message sits there, unchanged. You wait for a reply that never comes. Each glance feels like control. Each second spent staring, a silent plea for meaning. You know it's pointless, yet the urge pulls. You check again. The cycle repeats. Pain doesn't need a reason to stay. It lingers because you invite it every time you look back. Why do you search for answers in what's already gone? You think a response will close the wound. You think their words will explain the loss. But each check only tightens the loop. You're not finding clarity. You're feeding the noise. The truth isn't out there. It's in the moment you choose to stop. The cost is quiet, but heavy. Every glance erodes your breath. It pulls you further from the present. The void grows, not because they left, but because you keep reaching. You trade stillness for a flicker of hope that never holds. The system inside you frays unnoticed. Each tap on the screen is a step deeper into emptiness. You feel it, the weight behind your chest. Invisible, but always there. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The world spins on. Their silence isn't your burden. You don't have to carry it. The urge to check is just a current. Let it pass. Detachment isn't surrender. It's the edge you build inside. What happens when you don't look? When the screen stays dark? What do you see? Not their absence. Not the pain you expect. Just you, still here. The reflex to chase pulls hard. But you're not bound to it. You can witness the urge. You can let it fade. The mirror is clear if you stop turning away. The pull is strong. You feel it now. You can pause. The next move is yours alone. You think reacting proves you're alive. Each word you type, each glance at their silence feels like holding ground. You tell yourself it's strength. You tell yourself it's control. Every response carves your place in the chaos. But it's a lie. Each reaction binds you tighter to the pain. You're not commanding the moment. You're chasing a shadow. The more you fight, the deeper the loss sinks. You feel it. The pull to explain, to be seen. It's not life. It's a loop. Stop. See the trap. Let the urge pass. Silence is where you begin. Principle 1. The urge to explain. You type the message. Fingers hover over the send button. You want them to understand. You need them to see your side, to know you didn't fail. The words spill out, each one a plea for absolution. You hit send. The screen stares back. Silence. You wait and wait. The urge to explain burns. It feels like survival. You think clarity will erase the rejection. You think their nod will lift the weight, but it doesn't. Each word you sent, another thread tying you to their judgment. You didn't free yourself. You handed them the reins. The cost is subtle. Every explanation chips away at your center. You trade your silence for their approval, and get neither. The more you speak, the louder the shame grows. It's not their silence that traps you. It's your need to fill it. You're caught in a loop, one you built. The system fails because you keep feeding it words that change nothing. Their response won't heal the pain. It never could. You suffer more from the desire to be understood than from the misunderstanding itself. Seneca. The world doesn't owe you clarity. Their eyes don't hold your worth. The urge to explain is a reflex, not a truth. Let it pass. Withdraw the need. Say less. The edge is in what you don't say. Stop typing. Delete the draft. Let the screen go dark. It's not surrender. It's command. You don't need their answer to stand firm. The moment you stop, you reclaim the ground. Breath returns. The noise fades. You're not begging anymore. You're here, present. You don't owe anything. The reflex to explain pulls hard, but it's not the only trap. Another lies in the chase for what's already gone. Principle 2. Chasing closure. The door is shut. You stand outside, knocking. Not with your hands, but with your mind. You replay their last words. You scroll through old messages. You search for a reason. A crack in the silence that explains why they left. The pain feels like a puzzle. You think one more detail will solve it. You think closure will set you free. So you chase it. You dig deeper. Each memory a weight you carry. The truth? There's no key out there. The lock is inside you, and you're turning it the wrong way. Every step you take toward their answer pulls you further from your breath. The cost isn't just time, it's presence. You trade the moment for a ghost. The more you seek, the tighter the loss grips. You're not chasing understanding. You're running from stillness. The wound doesn't heal because you keep touching it. The system breaks, not from their absence, but from your refusal to let go. Pain is a current. It flows where you let it. You can't stop the tide, but you can step back from the shore. The things you chase don't belong to you. Epictetus. Their reasons aren't your burden. Their silence isn't your cage. Detachment is the blade that cuts the rope. Don't ask why. Don't wait. Release the need. The moment you stop chasing, the current slows. Walk away from the door. Leave the screen untouched. Let the question dissolve. It's not weakness. It's command. You don't need their answer to move. The ground is here, beneath your feet. Be here. The void isn't empty. It's clear. Let go isn't weakness. The room is empty. Your breath fills it. Nothing moves, but you're still here. The urge to chase closure lingers, but another trap waits. You hide the wound, thinking it will fade. Principle 3. Suppressing pain. The ache sits heavy in your chest. You push it down. You smile through meetings. You post the photo. You say you're fine, but the pain doesn't listen. It's there when you wake. It's there in the quiet. You suppress it. Believing control means burying it deep. You think ignoring the grief will make it dissolve. You think numbness is strength. But the harder you press, the louder it grows. You're not silencing the wound. You're silencing yourself. The cost is your awareness. Every time you shove the pain away, you lose a piece of the present. You move through days, but you're not here. The system cracks. Suppression builds a wall, not a shield. The grief doesn't shrink, it spreads. It clouds your eyes. It dulls your breath. You're not stronger. You're further from the truth. The wound festers because you won't look at it. The pain isn't your enemy. It's a signal. What you resist persists. Seneca. You can't erase it, but you can witness it. Let it rise. Don't flinch. Don't run. Sit with it. Feel the weight without feeding it words. Breath through it. The act of seeing is the override. You don't need to fix it. You just need to see. Close your eyes. Let the ache surface. Don't push. Don't explain. Just observe. It moves, but you don't have to follow. The moment you stop fighting, you'll present. The wound doesn't own you. You're still here, awake. Pain doesn't mean truth. The truth cuts deep. But another loop pulls you back. You replay the past, thinking it holds the key. Principle 4. Overthinking the past. The memory plays again. Their words. Sharp. Final. You see the moment you walked away, or when they did. You rewind. You pause. You search for what you missed. A different choice. A better line. You think the past holds the answer to your pain. You overthink every detail, believing it will unlock the regret. You tell yourself understanding will free you, but each replay tightens the chain. You're not solving, you're sinking. The cost is your presence. Every thought you give the paste steals from now. You live in a loop, not in the world. The emptiness grows, not because of what happened, but because you keep returning. Your breath shortens. Your eyes glaze. The system falters. You're not here. You're there, trapped in a moment that's gone. The pace doesn't owe you clarity. It never will. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Marcus Aurelius. The past is a shadow. It moves when you do. Step back. Stop the replay. Let the scene fade. Break the loop. Look at your hands. They're still here. Feel your breath. It's still moving. The moment you stop digging, you're free. Let the memory come. Don't chase it. Don't fight it. Observe. It passes like clouds. You don't need to rewrite the past. You're here now. That's enough. The void is where it clears. A voice whispers, "You're not enough. It's not the paste. It's the need to be seen." Principle 5. Seeking approval. Their eyes pass over you. You feel it, the weight of being unseen. You adjust your words. You shift your stance. You please, hoping they'll notice. You think their approval will fill the gap. You think their nod will erase the shame. You bend just a little more, but the invisible stays. Their glance doesn't lift you. It doesn't change the silence inside. You're not gaining ground, you're losing it. The cost is your inner weight. Every effort to be seen pulls you from your center. You trade your silence for their gaze, and get neither. The shame doesn't fat, it grows. You're not building strength. You're borrowing it from others. The system cracks because you let their eyes define you. You feel it, the hollow behind your chest. You're not enough because you keep asking them to decide. Self-command is the anchor. What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears. Seneca. Their approval isn't your measure. Their silence isn't your worth. Hold the line. Stand still. Say less. Let their eyes pass. You don't need their light. You carry your own. Stop adjusting. Let your words stand. Let your breath settle. You're not begging for their gaze. You're here, present. Their nod changes nothing. Your ground is enough. Detachment is a form of respect. You seek their eyes, but another reflex stirs. Rejection cuts, and you flinch. Principle 6. Reacting to rejection. The message goes unanswered. Their door closes. You feel the sting. Rejection. It lands like a blade. You react. You type a reply. Sharp and quick. You walk faster, as if moving erases the cut. You tell yourself you'll prove them wrong. You'll show you're enough. The fear drives you. You think action will dull the pain. You think fighting back will reclaim your ground. But each move tightens the trap. You're not rising. You're bleeding. The cost is your control. Every reaction hands them the reins. You lose your breath chasing their verdict. The system fails, not from their choice, but from yours. You let their silence dictate your pace. The rejection doesn't break you. Your response does. It pulls you from the present. You feel it. The weight of their no. It's not their power. It's your surrender. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Epictetus. Their no isn't your truth. Their door isn't your cage. Pause. Let the sting rise. Don't follow it. Withdraw. Don't type. Don't prove. Discipline is the override. The moment you stop, you hold the line. Feel the cut. Don't move. Breath through it. Let their silence sit untouched. You don't need to answer. You're here. Steady. The ground holds you without their yes. You don't have to react. A man sat alone, staring at an empty inbox. He typed, then deleted. The silence held, and he stood. Principle 7. Holding on to hope. The phone sits silent. You check it anyway. You tell yourself they'll call, they'll change their mind. You cling to hope, a thin thread promising relief. It feels alive. It feels like strength. You hope blindly, believing the future will undo the pain. You wait, eyes fixed on what might be. Each day you hold tighter, as if letting go means losing yourself. But the thread frays. The hope doesn't save, it binds. The cost is your quiet. Every moment spent hoping steals your breath. You're not living, you're suspended. The anxiety grows, not from their absence, but from your refusal to release. You trade the present for a dream that never lands. The system stalls. You're stuck, waiting for a door that won't open. The weight isn't the loss, it's the weight of your grip. Hope is a chain. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Seneca. The future isn't yours to hold. Their choice isn't your burden. Unhook. Let the thread snap. Breath through the fall. You don't need tomorrow's promise. You have now. Release the weight. Stillness is the override. Put the phone down. Let the thought dissolve. Don't wait. You're not falling. You're standing. The moment you stop hoping, you're free. Be here. Steady. Stillness is enough. The urge to wait pulls, but another reflex hides. You dodge the ache, thinking it keeps you safe. Principle 8. Avoiding pain. The ache rises. You turn away. You scroll faster. Click louder. You fill the silence with noise. You avoid the pain, believing it's weakness to feel it. You denny the weight in your chest, thinking distraction will erase it. You move quicker, as if speed outruns the isolation. You tell yourself you're strong, you're past it, but the pain follows. It's not gone, it's buried. Each dodge makes it heavier, unseen. The cost is your ground. Every avoidance pulls you from yourself. You're not escaping, you're fracturing. The system weakens, not from the pain, but from your refusal to face it. You lose your breath, chasing a life without wounds. The isolation deepens not because you're alone, but because you're hiding. You build a fragile self, one that cracks under the slightest touch. Pain is a guest. What need is there to run from what you cannot escape? Marcus Aurelius. You can't outrun it, but you can sit with it. Let it sit. Don't flinch. Breath through the weight. Witness it. Without words. The act of facing is the override. You don't need to banish it. You need to SEE. Stop scrolling. Let the screen go dark. Feel the ache. Don't run. You're not breaking. You're present. The moment you face it, you're whole. Be here. Steady. Silence isn't surrender. Why do I keep running? The voice asks. Because you think pain is the enemy, it replies. Principle 9. Clinging to control. The plan unravels. Their words shift. The market dips. You grip tighter, fingers locked on the wheel. You cling to control, believing it holds the world in place. You check the numbers again. You replay the conversation. You think precision will stop the loss. You think effort will bend the outcome. But the harder you hold, the more it slips. The emptiness grows, not from the chaos, but from your fight against it. You're not steering, you're sinking. The cost is your presence. Every grip pulls you from the moment. You trade your breath for an illusion of power. The system fails, not because things change, but because you demand they don't. You lose your quiet, chasing a world that obeys. The weight isn't the change. It's your refusal to let go. You feel it, the strain behind your eyes. You're not in control. You're controlled. You must let go of what you cannot hold. Epictetus. The world moves. You don't own it. Their choices, not yours. The market, not yours. Disengage. Release the wheel. Breath through the shift. Stillness is the override. You don't need to force the outcome. You need to be here. Step back. Let the numbers fall. Let their words fade. You're not falling. You're standing. The moment you stop gripping, you're free. The ground holds without your fists. Not doing is power too. The need to control fades. But another trap lurks. You act on impulse, thinking it saves you. Principe 10. Financial overreaction. The market drops. Your screen flashes red. Your pulse spikes. Anxiety surges. You tap the sell button. Do fast. You chase the uptick, buying high, hoping to outrun the loss. You react, thinking speed saves you. You think action stops the bleeding. You think your move will fix the numbers. But each tap locks in the loss. The more you flinch, the deeper the cut. You're not saving. You're spiraling. The cost is your discipline. Every impulse steals your center. You trade your breath for a fleeting gain, or to dodge a pain that's already here. The system breaks, not from the market, but from your panic. You lose your quiet, chasing numbers that don't care. The anxiety doesn't fade, it grows. You feel it, the knot in your chest. You're not in control, you're controlled. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Marcus Aurelius. The market moves. You don't have to follow. The red screen isn't your truth. Detach. Pause before you tap. Breath through the urge. Rule-based decisions are the override. Set the line. Hold it. You don't need to win now. You need to stay still. Close the app. Let the numbers sit. Feel the pulse. Don't follow it. You're not falling. You're steady. The moment you stop reacting, you're free. The ground holds without your rush. You can end without drama. 80% of investors lose money chasing trends. The market doesn't care. Your breath does. The market's chaos tests you. But another reflex waits. You escape the numbers, seeking refuge in distractions. Principe 11. Seeking escape. The weight presses in. The loss stings. The silence hums. You reach for the bottle. You swipe through endless feeds. You turn the music louder, drowning the ache. You escape, believing it dulls the pain. You think distraction buries the anxiety. You think running from the quiet saves you. But each click, each sip, pulls you deeper. The noise doesn't erase. It amplifies. You're not fleeing. You're trapped. The cost is your awareness. Every escape strips your presence. You trade your breath for a fleeting haze and lose both. The system falters, not from the pain, but from your refusal to face it. The isolation grows, not because you're alone, but because you're absent. You feel it, the fog behind your eyes. You're not resting, you're fading. What you flee from follows you. Seneca. The pain isn't out there, it's within. You can't outrun it, but you can witness it. Stop. Let the noise fade. Sit with it. Breath through the urge to run. Be here. That's the override. You don't need to numb it. You need to see. Put the bottle down. Close the app. Let the silence settle. Don't flinch. You're not sinking. You're awake. The moment you stop running, you're present. The ground holds steady. You don't have to hide. The urge to escape fades, but another pulls. You justify your pain, thinking it proves you're right. Principle 12. Justifying pain. The wound throbs. You tell yourself it's proof. They left, so you weren't enough. The market crashed, so you failed. You hold the pain close, like evidence. You justify it, believing it explains the loss. You think clinging to the ache makes it true. You think it validates your regret. But each reason you weave tightens the knot. You're not understanding. you're anchoring yourself to the hurt. The cost is your clarity. Every justification pulls you from the present. You trade your breath for a story that keeps you small. The system stalls not from the event, but from your need to prove it matters. The shame grows. Not because you're wrong, but because you keep writing the verdict. You feel it, the weight of your own judgment. You're not healing, you're sentencing. You suffer more from the stories you tell than from the events themselves. Epictetus, the pain isn't your truth, it's just a signal. Detach from the narrative. Let the story dissolve. Witness the ache. Don't name it. Step back. Breath through the urge to explain. Silence is the override. You don't need reasons. You need to see. Stop the story. Let the thought pass. Feel the pain. Don't label it. You're not defined by it. You're here. The moment you stop justifying, you're free. Be here. Clear. Pain doesn't mean truth. The story fades, but another reflex stirs. You seek comfort in others' words, thinking it fills the void. Principle 13. Seeking comfort. The silence cuts. You reach out. You call a friend. You post the thought. You seek their words, their nod. You think comfort will soften the pain. You think their voice will fill the emptiness. You please, hoping their care will lift the weight. You lean into their replies, as if they hold the answer. But the relief fades. Their words don't stay. The isolation returns, sharper. You're not soothed. You're dependent. The cost is your inner weight. Every plea pulls you from your center. You trade your silence for their pity and lose both. The system weakens, not from the pain, but from your need for their balm. The anxiety grows, not because you're alone, but because you're tethered to their response. You feel it, the hollow, when they don't reply. You're not grounded, you're drifting. No one can lighten your burden but yourself. Marcus Aurelius, their words aren't your anchor. Their care isn't your strength. Withdraw the need. Say less. Breath through the urge to reach out. Self-command is the override. You don't need their comfort, you need your stillness. Put the phone down. Let the urge pass. Sit with it, alone. You're not sinking. You're steady. The moment you stop seeking, you're whole. Be here. Enough. You don't need their nod. A man once begged for comfort after a loss. Seneca watched and wrote, "He found peace only when he stopped asking." The need for comfort pulls, but another reflex lies in wait. You dwell on what could have been, trapping yourself in regret. Principle 14. Dwelling on regret. The moment replays. You see their face, the choice you didn't make. You linger on the words unsaid, the path not taken. You dwell, believing regret holds the key to fixing the past. You think revisiting the scene will change the pain. You think understanding your mistake will lift the weight. But each return sinks you deeper. The regret doesn't explain, it chains. You're not learning. You're lost. The cost is your breath. Every moment spent in regret steals your presence. You trade the now for a shadow that can't be touched. The system stalls, not from the choice, but from your refusal to release it. The grief grows not because you erred, but because you keep judging the error. You feel it, the tightness in your chest. You're not moving. You're stuck. You cannot change what is done. Epictetus, the past is stone, unyielding. Your thoughts don't carve it. They carve you. Step back. Let the scene fade. Witness the regret. Don't feed it. Breath through the pull to dwell. Detachment is the override. You don't need to rewrite history. You need to be here. Let the thought come. Don't follow it. Feel the weight. Don't carry it. You're not bound to the past. You're free. The moment you stop dwelling, you're present. Ground yourself. Now. The past isn't your prison. The shadow of regret lifts, but another urge stirs. You compare yourself, seeking worth in others' eyes. Principle 15. Comparing yourself. Their post glows. Their life shines. Yours doesn't. You scroll, eyes fixed on their wins. You compare, measuring your worth against their frame. You think their success dims your own. You think their light proves your shame. You weigh your loss against their gain, as if it explains the ache. But each glance cuts deeper. The invisible grows, not from their rise, but from your gaze. You're not assessing, you're erasing. The cost is your center. Every comparison pulls you from your ground. You trade your breath for a race you can't win. The system cracks, not from their path, but from your need to match it. The anxiety builds, not because you lack, but because you look outward. You feel it, the hollow where your worth should be. You're not failing, you're fleeing yourself. Your own mind is your measure. Marcus Aurelius. Their light isn't your shadow. Their wins aren't your loss. Withdraw the gaze. Stop the scroll. Breath through the urge to measure. Self-command is the override. You don't need their height. You have your own. Close the app. Let their story fade. Feel your pulse. It's yours. You're not less. You're here. The moment you stop comparing, you're whole. Be here. Steady. You don't need their scale. The mirror is yours. But another reflex pulls. You cling to blame, thinking it shields you. Principle 16. Clinging to blame. Their words echo. Sharp. Cutting. You point the finger. They caused the pain. They broke the trust. You blame. Holding their fault like a shield. You think it protects you. You think it justifies the grief. You replay their wrong, as if naming it lifts the weight. But each accusation tightens the chain. The shame doesn't fade. It festers. You're not shielding. You're sinking. The cost is your presence. Every blame pulls you from your breath. You trade your quiet for a fight that changes nothing. The system falters, not from their act, but from your grip on it. The isolation grows not because they hurt you, but because you let their fault define you. You feel it, the knot in your chest. You're not free. You're bound to their shadow. You are hurt the moment you believe yourself to be. Epictetus, their wrong isn't your truth. Their fault isn't your cage. Release the blame. Step back. Breath through the urge to point. Detachment is the override. You don't need their guilt. You need your stillness. Let their words sit untouched. Don't name their fault. Feel the pain, don't chain it. You're not their victim. You're here. The moment you stop blaming, you're steady. Be here, clear. You don't carry their fault. Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal daily, yet wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." The blame dissolves, but another reflex stirs. You chase perfection, thinking it proves your worth. Principle 17. Chasing perfection. The mirror reflects a flaw. The work falls short. You see the gap, and you chase. You polish harder, tweak endlessly. You think perfection will silence the shame. You think flawlessness will erase the fear. You strive, believing the next fix will make you enough. But each adjustment tightens the grip. The anxiety doesn't fade, it grows. You're not perfecting, you're punishing. The cost is your breath. Every chase pulls you from the present. You trade your quiet for a standard that shifts. The system cracks, not from your flaws, but from your refusal to accept them. The invisible weight builds, not because you're lacking, but because you're running from yourself. You feel it, the strain behind your eyes. You're not rising, you're trapped. What need is there to be perfect when you can be human? Seneca. Flaws aren't your enemy. They're your ground. Witness them. Don't fix. Breath through the urge to polish. Detach from the ideal. Self-command is the override. You don't need perfection. You need to be here. Stop tweaking. Let the flaw stand. Feel the urge. Don't follow it. You're not broken. You're whole. The moment you stop chasing, you're steady. Ground yourself. Now. You don't need to be flawless. The chase for perfection slows. But another reflex waits. You fear silence, filling it with noise. Principle 18. Fearing silence. The room grows still. No notifications, no voices. The silence hums, and you flinch. You reach for the phone. You turn on the noise. You fear the quiet, believing it reveals your emptiness. You think filling the space will dull the anxiety. You think sound will hide the pain, but each distraction sharpens the edge. The silence doesn't break you. Your fight against it does. You're not escaping. You're running. The cost is your presence. Every noise you chase pulls you from your breath. You trade your ground for a shield that crumbles. The system falters, not from the quiet, but from your refusal to face it. The isolation deepens, not because you're alone, but because you won't stay. You feel it, the restlessness in your chest. You're not free, you're fleeing. Silence is not empty, it is full of answers. Marcus Aurelius. The quiet isn't your enemy, it's your mirror. Sit with it, don't fill it. Breath through the urge to drown it. Witness the silence, let it speak. Stillness is the override. You don't need noise, you need to be here. Let the phone stay dark. Let the room hum. Feel the quiet, don't run. You're not lost, you're found. The moment you stop fearing, you're steady. Ground yourself, now. Silence isn't surrender. The quiet holds you. But another reflex stirs. You repeat old patterns, thinking they keep you safe. Principle 19. Repeating patterns. The scene feels familiar. You text again, same words, same hope. You buy on impulse, same rush, same regret. You repeat, falling into the same loop. You think the pattern keeps you safe. You think it's just who you are. You cling to the rhythm, believing it holds you together. But each cycle cuts deeper. The pain doesn't fade. It compounds. You're not living, you're circling. The cost is your awareness. Every repetition pulls you from your breath. You trade your presence for a script you didn't write. The system breaks, not from the choice, but from your refusal to break the loop. The anxiety grows, not because you fail, but because you keep running the same race. You feel it, the weight of the familiar. You're not free, you're trapped. You can begin again at any moment. Epictetus. The pattern isn't your truth, it's your choice. Witness it. See the cycle. Don't follow it. Step back. Breath through the urge to repeat. Detachment is the override. You don't need the old path. You need to be here. Pause before you text. Hold before you buy. Feel the pull. Don't obey it. You're not bound to the loop. You're free. The moment you stop repeating, you're awake. Ground yourself. Now. You can end the cycle. The cycle breaks. But one last reflex waits. You fear starting anew, clinging to what's known. Principle 20. Fearing the new. The path splits. A choice looms, unfamiliar, untested. You pause. Fear creeps in. You cling to the known, the old job, the old routine. You hold on, thinking safety lies in what you've always done. You think the new will break you. You think change will deepen the loss. But each step you refuse tightens the grip. The emptiness grows not from the unknown, but from your refusal to move. You're not protecting, you're stalling. The cost is your breath. Every moment spent fearing pulls you from your presence. You trade your quiet for a cage of comfort. The system falters, not from the change, but from your need to avoid it. The anxiety builds, not because the new is hard, but because you keep delaying it. You feel it, the weight of what could be. You're not safe. You're stuck. Everything is born from change. Marcus Aurelius, the new isn't your enemy, it's your ground. Witness the fear. Don't feed it. Step forward. Breath through the uncertainty. Detach from the old. Self-command is the override. You don't need safety. You need to be here. Take the step. Let the old fade. Feel the fear. Don't stop. You're not falling. You're rising. The moment you embrace the new, you're free. Ground yourself. Now. You don't need the old to stand. The path opens, and you stand at its edge. What you choose next begins with a single pause. The phone lies face down. The room is still. No sound, no movement, only your breath, steady, quiet. You didn't check the message this time. You didn't chase the answer. The urge came and passed. The silence holds you, not heavy, but clear. You're here, present, untouched by the pull. You felt the weight and let it sit. You saw the loop and stepped back. The pain didn't vanish, but you didn't follow it. What remains when you don't react? Not emptiness, not loss, just you. Stillness, unbroken. What is the ground beneath you now? Not their words, not the past, not the fear. Just this moment, raw, unclaimed. You don't need to fill it. You don't need to run. Silence is its own weight.